You should eat a little bad. You should drink a little too much. You should laugh a little too loud, and you should have sex a little bit too much. Yeah. Well, not when you're alone.
And whose team is this? Is this your team or is this your daddy's team?
Thanks for listening to Dad Mode Podcast, common sense parenting in a politically correct world. Here's your host, Andy Carlson.
Welcome back to the Dad Mode Podcast, common sense parenting in a politically correct world. I'm your host, Andy Carlson, at Andy Carlson Show on the Twitter machine. I'm a father, and I have no idea what I'm doing, but you don't either, so let's try and learn something together today. The website is dadmodepod.com, Twitter at dadmodepod, or just use the hashtag dadmode. And today, solo today, Nick Son is on break again. He'll be back, but all right, so here's the thing. Taking behind the curtain a little inside baseball. Nick and I, we usually record on a weeknight evening, except during the football season, it gets really busy. I record a lot of Purple for the Wins, a couple at night during the week, yada, yada. And, Nick has his own life. He's a grinder. He's a asbestos tester, etc. And, eventually we get to like 9 o'clock on Thursday. It's like, oh, we haven't done anything. And I don't want to record on Friday night, so I guess I'll just do solo on Friday morning. So that's how it works sometimes. But Nick will be back. Nick is the reason you guys actually listen to the show. But, since you're already listening to the show in hopes that Nick would be here, you're already stuck, and I already have your click. So that's all that matters to me. I already got your download number. It's okay. So today, I wanted to talk about having the social life outside of your kids. Now, as a parent, I can already tell there's going to be lots of what's it called, like school booster events. There's going to be a lot of dance recitals. There's going to be a lot of sporting events, which I'm excited for. It's going to be all well and good, except I think it can be detrimental to the parent and for the kid, for that matter, if the parent's life is all about the kid. Like the parent literally has no outside hobbies that are not related to their kids. Like all they do is work and do stuff for their kids. I feel like I don't want to say there has to be a balance, because having that balance out between, your own social life and your kid's social life, it definitely shouldn't be like a 50-50 split. Like you are on board the kid train, and I almost want to say it should be like 90% kid going forward. And I don't think that's too hyperbolic, as just as it's a matter of time. I mean, there's only so many hours in the day, and a lot of those are going to be involved with kids. I mean, if you have a newborn or a 6 month like we have, and you get up early with the kid, probably around 5 or 6, and then you work during the day, and then you got the kid at night, and you got to read him a story, got to put him down. Before you know it, it's 8 o'clock, and then there's a couple things you have to do to get ready for the next day, and before you know it, it's 9. So you're not exactly going out to guys' poker night or bowling or anything like that right now. I mean, once the kids are older and don't need as much hands-on attention, and plus you have that great free babysitter called school, then things open up. Then maybe you're back in the bowling league, the softball league, the poker night, etc. But as of right now, and I've never been like social butterfly, as it were. Like I'm very chill. I'm very much a homebody. Don't get me wrong. I love hanging out with our friends and getting together. And we're actually having a little event down in Winona, our former college town, heading down there. A couple of friends bought a house, and there is a little shindig, a little soiree going on. So I'm really looking forward to getting out Saturday night and maybe having a couple of pops, a couple of adult beverages, and seeing a bunch of people I haven't seen in a while. And you need that. You need that every now and then, because I'm trying to think. Outside of a couple of random weekend events where parents brought their kids, together, and then have a beer or two. Outside of those events, I haven't really gotten away since the baby has been born in June, and that's not a complaint. Like I'm not a guy who like needs to go out drinking with his buddies or going to games multiple times a week. It's not really my bag. It never really was. But even if that was your thing, becoming a parent, just the whole time constraint of having a young kid could definitely preclude you. And I could see that wearing on a person, especially if they weren't ready to have a kid. Maybe it was a oops, baby. You know what I mean? A couple oops, baby. And I could see how that being just plopped on your plate when you're not ready for it can kind of cramp your style. Maybe you have some animosity towards the kid because you're not quite ready to change your lifestyle. And it's like I don't want to say that there's nothing wrong with it, but you had a kid, and that's kind of your deal now for at least the next 18 years. So, if you didn't want to have a kid, maybe you should wrap it up next time, son, or at least pull out, that sort of thing. But anyways, I could go on a whole Charlie Sheen rant, but just it goes beyond like personal getting out as well, because if you have the parents, the whole date night mentality definitely has to come into play. Now, even when we're married, the wife and I would go out maybe one or two times a week, and it would just be us. But of course, it was just us to begin with, and we'd socialize with friends and stuff. But a lot of times, it was just us going out, hanging out, and I don't want to say we were over the top. Like we weren't yuppies. Like we weren't going out every single night, every single weekend. But we go out, we enjoy ourselves, go out to dinner, go see a movie, those sort of things. And I do believe that the alone time is important for the relationship between you and your significant other without the kid. I'm talking about once in a while, maybe once a month, maybe once every other month, getting the babysitter, going out, getting a nice dinner that isn't involved mac and cheese, and going out and seeing a movie that doesn't have a G rating. Go for the R, baby. Go for the R, the blood and guts, all the F-bombs and all the sex scenes you want. Because just get out of the system. It's almost like, ooh, 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 ooh. It's almost like the purge. Yeah. Just completely get it out of your system. And, if going out and dancing or clubbing is your sort of thing, go and do that. Go out and dance like no one's watching, or dancing like you have a 2-year-old, blah, blah. But just, it can't be a regular occurrence. It just can't with the kid, because, what are you going to do? Dump your kid on your parents or your older sister or a babysitter every single weekend? No, that's not cool. First off, that person will eventually resent you, because it's going to feel like they're not doing you a favor anymore, especially if you're not paying them. It's more of you're dumping all of your responsibilities on them. And we covered that in a previous episode. Also, you're not 20 anymore. You're not 22. You're not hot anymore. Let's be honest. And you're not free. You have responsibilities, so you're not going to be going out and dancing and clubbing every single weekend. But every once in a while, just completely get it out. Get it out of your system, baby, and that's all you need. And all right, so the wife and I are definitely not that extreme side. When we're together, it is the whole dinner movie. Maybe we'll do something nerdy like go to the science museum or something like that. We're those kind of people. But afterwards, or even towards the end, we're just like, all right, let's get home to baby. Oh, I miss baby so much, blah, blah. And then if we don't have another one of those outings for 2-3 months, I mean, we don't really miss it. We don't go too stir crazy. But, when you're going out solo, like I'm going to be this weekend. The wife is staying at home with the kid. And now I'm definitely not the going out and drinking, partying all night type of person anymore. I mean, in college, that's another story for another day. But the whole going out with a bunch of old college friends and probably drinking a little too much and probably not sleeping enough. Uh, it's not my bag anymore, but it is definitely fun once in a blue moon, and it's one of those things where you build up to it, and you're like, man, I'm really looking forward to getting out, seeing the guys, seeing the gals, and just having an absolutely good time. But then I'm guessing Sunday morning when I'm waking up with a huge ass hangover and like a upset stomach because it's the liver and the digestive tract isn't used to a bunch of booze being poured down anymore. It's gonna be like yeah, I can do without this for maybe another 6 months, something like that. And I think it's just a part of, don't want to say maturing, but I'm gonna say maturing. I don't want to say getting older, but it is getting older. Where you know looking back, 22-year-old me would have been a really shitty father. And now 30-year-old me, maybe not the best in the world, but he tries hard. He tries a lot harder than the 22-year-old version of Andy would as a parent. And it's, I don't know, like I'm kind of an old soul as it is. Like if the wife and I didn't have kids, uh, our Friday nights would still probably be roughly the same. Sitting at home making some homemade pizza. I make phenomenal pizza, by the way. The I specialize in the thin crust New York style. With the big slices that you fold up. Baby, keep it simple. Just a little cheese, maybe some pepperoni, maybe some mushrooms. That's it. That is it. But anyways, uh, so that's our Friday nights now. If we didn't have kids, it'd probably still be our Friday nights. Sitting at home watching Netflix, having pizza, maybe watching some Dateline. I don't know. I'm probably in bed by 9, maybe 10 at the latest if we're feeling particularly frisky that night. And I don't know. I think it just goes to your personality. But just getting out, whether it's by yourself or with your significant other, goes a long way to the mental stability, getting a little bit of the stir craziness out. And you can also make a lot of fun events with parents with kids around your same age. I mean, we have the wife and her cousin and her husband have two little girls around Muggsy's age, so and we live pretty close to each other, so that's going to be on the social calendar for quite a long time, and you can make that fun. I mean, we get together, we do some food, we have a couple of drinks, and you can feel almost human again, even with the kids around. You get turned to events because think back to like your birthday parties or family get-togethers, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, what have you. Yeah, the adults, yeah, the party was just as much for the adults as it is for the kids, including the kids' birthday party, because you usually get together, get a bunch of good food together, have a couple of beverages, have some laughs, and that's important. That is important. The whole life doesn't have to revolve around the kid, even if it is the kid's birthday. There's some other ancillary social benefits around there as well. And to get the most out of your time away from the kid, it's something that a lot of self-help books advocate is being present, being in the moment. And it's this quasi Zen sort of thing, but it's something I try to hold with the kid and when I have time away from the kid. So with the kid, of being present, being focused on having playtime with the kid. Don't be diddling on the phone. Don't be thinking, man, I really wish I was out drinking with the guys and bowling and get my 300 like Twinkle Toes Fred Flintstone, that sort of thing. No, you just focus on the kid, and when you're away, focus on being away. Focus on having fun being away from the kid, and don't be worrying yourself as like, oh my God, what about the babysitter? Oh my God, hope everything's okay. Do they have poison control on the hotline? Blah blah. Everything will be fine. Everything will be fine, and it's gonna be much better for your mental state and for your relationship with your kid as a parent if you have that little time to recharge. It's like if you take a vacation, right? And you have a laptop, you have a cell phone, you're doing work the entire time. You're in the Bahamas, and then you come back a week later, and then you still feel swamped. You're not refreshed. You're not tan, rested, and ready to go. No, I mean because you're still focusing on work. You weren't focusing on the vacation, and I guess you could call like nights out or date nights like a mini vacation from the kids, and you should treat them like such. You should eat a little bad. You should drink a little too much. You should laugh a little too loud, and you should have sex a little bit too much. Yeah. Well, not when you're alone. I'm not advocating that, but definitely date night. Definitely date night. And I crack myself up. And it's important that you carve out time for yourself, and you do have interests outside of your kids. Even at the young age when they're in the incubation period, because once they get older, once they get in the teens and beyond, they're not gonna want to do every single thing with you. I mean, every single weekend event, every single weeknight event is not going to be together. During the week, maybe dad goes to the den and watches some sports center or some 30 for 30s or a ball game. Maybe the daughter just goes to a room, texts or FaceTimes or whatever technology is going to be there in the time, and you're not having play toy time on the mat in the living room when the daughter is 14 years old. I mean, it's just not going to happen that way. And weekends they're going to want to see movies with their friends, and what are you gonna do? If your life has been revolved around these kids socially, and you have zero hobbies, zero friends outside of it, it's gonna be kind of lonely when that kid gets a little independence, and maybe you end up being a little bit too clingy to that kid, and maybe the kid becomes resentful of your clinginess, because no matter how the kids are, once they hit that teenage age, they're going to want to spread out on their own a little bit. They're going to want to find out about the opposite sex. They're going to want to find out about finding significant others. They're going to want to find out about what you've been sheltering them from in their adolescence. And, if you got nothing else going on, you're going to have a pretty unfulfilled life. So I think it is important to not completely lose yourself when you have the kids. I mean, yes, your responsibilities are definitely going to shift, where it used to be 100% about you, but now maybe it's 90% about the kid, 10% about you. But don't lose sight of that. Don't make it 100% about the kid, because once that kid doesn't need 100% of your time, what are you going to do with yourself? Then that was a little quickie having a social life outside of your kids episode. And for dad mode, go out and tell a friend. There's so many parenting small talk conversations that come up that are a little awkward and always based around kids, because frankly you probably don't give a shit about the other person. But you do have kids in common, so you're talking, oh well, blah 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 walked at this age, oh she looks so cool and blah. Why don't you talk about the podcast? You should be like, as a little talking point, I listen to this podcast called Dad Mode, and it's this guy who's a father and has nothing figured out, but neither do any of us. And it's quasi entertaining, and it quasi takes up 20 minutes to a half an hour of my week, and that's a portion of my week where I don't have to listen to my kids. Yeah. Oh, this could be your social outlet outside of the kids. Listening to Dad Mode, and then having like a Dad Mode, like book club, but podcast, like a podcast club. Baby, do that. So tell a friends all about the show. Also Amazon, dadmodepod.com, top left corner, click through our Amazon banner. It'll take you to Amazon through our link. Bookmark the link. Every time you buy something, especially with Black Friday deals already starting and ready to go, it's something you use anyways. Why not do it through our link and give us a little taste? Keep the lights on here at Dad Mode Pod. We appreciate you. We appreciate you so much. All right. Show is available on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at Dad Mode Pod. Me at Andy Carlson Show. The website is dadmodepod.com. Be a man, be a father, go dad mode. We'll see you next time.
Think the episode you just heard is worth $1? Well, send it our way. Visit dadmodepod.com/support to find out how. Be a man, be a father. Go dad mode. The music is created and produced by deeB. To hear more of his tracks, visit soundcloud.com/deeB.